Lesson 19. Tea, coffee. Past 1. Do you like tea or coffee? To be honest, I have profound passion for coffee. It's just like part and parcel of my life. And now, I am a sophomore at university, so every day I am always constantly up to my ears with Toronto assignment, and I often burn the midnight oil to meet the deadline. So coffee helped me to be outside mind, to be a sound mind to finish my word. Is it popular to drink tea and coffee in your countries? I think that's both tea and coffee gain popularities in my countries because it have a number of farms for tea and coffee, and it's also the main product to export them to many different countries. You know, that growing tea and coffee create more job for local people. It's boot the economy, and I also a big fan of coffee. um Without them I cannot work effectively effective more especially when I have to burn the midnight oil to meet the deadline. When you were first time you try tea and coffee? It's quite hard for me to answer this question because I remember, you know, mm, to remember the first time I tried tea or coffee, tea and coffee, because you know it's just like part and parcel of my family, like main drink. Maybe when I was young, I was a child, I tried this kind of drink. I remember maybe when I was 5 or 6 years old. This night I cannot sleep. I'm just turned in bed, and the next morning I feel tired all day. So I lost attention on any lesson in my class, and the problem is that I don't know when or when or no no when I addict to coffee, uh, and I don't know that when or the exactly time I addict to coffee. Maybe a little bit bitter, bitter, little bit bitter after all sweet. When the last time you drink tea or coffee? I have a habit to always ship a cup of coffee um, uh, to uh, to boost my emotion or my mood on through the day, especially in the morning. And the last time, of course, maybe this morning, it's helped me to recharge energy to deal with any deadline. And sometimes without this I cannot work effectively, more especially when I have to burn the midnight oil to meet the deadline. And do you buy tea or coffee for your family or your friend? What do you think about giving tea and coffee as a gift? Yes, definitely. Most of the Vietnamese people um uh, like a big fan of tea and coffee, and it's just like an indispensable part of our life. Giving tea or coffee for family or friends is such a like common way to show their hospitality and gratitude. For me, I often buy them for my family. Of course, we cannot live without them. And uh, Notably on Tate holiday, it's just like a gift. We often bring them for my relative and friends, and uh, it's also like tradition in my countries. What do you prepare for your guests at home? Tea or coffee? It's all depend on each person and their age. If it's like by body, I often prepare coffee because I know exactly that we are like coffeeholic, and most of young people in my country just like big fans of this kind of drink. And as for the elderly, I will offer them tea, because I don't know the reason why most of the older in my countries often gravitate toward tea. Do you like drinking tea or coffee at home? It's on depend my mood. Someday I feel I like a lazy born, and I don't want to go out. And maybe the bad weather affect my mood. I just want to sip a cup of coffee at home, and maybe sometime I often like sometime I play a date with my body. For me, coffee house is my utopia choice because I would have I'll just with them. We will enjoy the good view in the coffee shop, and we will snap a photo. Why do some people dislike coffee? Uh, because I am a coffee holic, so it's quite hard for me to put it in words. And actually, I surely wanna know the reason why some people don't like this. So let me get that. Maybe coffee have a caffeine, and it's quite hard to sleep, and and if the children drink it, maybe they will stay awake. And in addition, it's increase the cholesterol on blood if you drink uh, coffee a lot, and and then people can fake their heart disease. How has the habit of drinking tea and coffee of Vietnam changed over the past few years? In former day, it's just we just in former day we just purchase kind of ingredients such as like tea or coffee at the shop, and then we will make it at home. However, with the advent of global and local coffee chains around the world, around around the world, and of course around my countries, like Highland Coffee House, Starbucks, and and then we can have like instant coffee bath. So mm, people often hang out with the coffee shop with their friend or family, and then with uh, because we have got like instant coffee bath, so we can easily to have a cup of coffee at home. Should children be allowed to drink coffee? I think that it's not good for children to drink coffee because it contains caffeine. It's quite hard to sleep, and mm, if the drink is if the child if the child drink is uh, if the children drink it, they will stay awake, and it will increase cholesterol on the blood, and there they can face their heart disease. And sometimes, and especially children are quite sensitive to the effect. So, and then they can influence on the growing process of them. However, children can drink tea or coffee, but the quality of them need to be controlled carefully if they want to take every day. Do young and old people share their same favorite kind of tea or coffee? I am not see eye to eye for this point of view. For me, it is all depend on their hobby. For example, my grandparents uh, be- prefer tea rather than coffee. Means why the other people are, and meanwhile the other member of my family are coffeeholic. Especially, my best friend and me like a big fan of coffee. However, I am into instant coffee, whereas she take interest in fil- fil- filters coffee. It's so exhilarating.